Good afternoon, everyone. Rescue efforts now south of Valencia and towns cut off. Also, Halloween snows Hawaii. Another breadbasket. Wheat down. What do you think's happening to our planet? And as we begin, things come and things go. This was Euston Arch, built 1837 and demolished in the 1960s. Another piece of history gone out of Spain. Vivid rainbow luminescent clouds. The density of light reflected in the colors. And accumulated precipitation the exact same. The dark brown oval in the center, that's a year's worth of rain. And looking at cloud tops, you can actually see that boiling and building exactly over coastal Mediterranean, above and around Valencia. It almost appears as if the atmosphere is boiling in different layers there. What's causing that upwelling? Electromagnetic connection, Earth's electric circuit, something flowing in. But the result was these images we're seeing. This is in Valencia. So there's a lot of resources there, a lot of things happening immediately. But what happens if you go down to the countryside? We're looking at 630 millimeters of rain, and that translates to 24.8 inches, almost 25 inches. And before and after, that's what 25 inches of rain in a day does. And I'll zoom in right where Valencia is, and a lot of resources are here. And you see that river dumped and broke out where the bend in the river was, and it poured south. And it looks everything from that river going to the south was flooded, to the north not so much. Water following the coastal features. And if you look further south, where's that water going to? It's all pooling into where that inland sea was that's now covered by a seawall, but follow from the mountains. This other area flooded south of Valencia. It in itself, look how many towns are in here. And you could see how many people would be trapped and stuck here because everything going north up to Valencia is also, bridges are wiped out, roads. You can't really get down there that easily right now. And what's coming out of the mountains to the west, that deep brown that's sending water down. This is the next area that there's going to be a focus on. This is what it looked like prior. See all those farm fields out there, factory zones, there's a lot of industry, and all of a sudden it is flooded before and after. So think about the ferocity of water. Definitely a lot of infrastructure has been broken or not passable at the moment until fixing. Now, as I said, I wanted to trace that darker water coming out of the mountains up, and you see it. There's that dog leg to the left, really sharp hook there that's filled in. It looks like some kind of bobby pin or something. But this is what it looked like prior. Think about everything that got washed down through there coming out of the mountains. All that drainage basin funneled right into there. And again, before and after. And because it's a little bit wide out, I can get a visualization like as the water just came racing through. Now, I saw that Catastrophic, and I remember, where did I see that before? These are the same images right here, with all this incredible floodwater rushing down through the town. And then that bridge right there, and a couple others washed away, is from the same exact area. And Trump warns a Kamala win could lead to a 1929-style crash. Costco seen double-digit growth in gold sales as gold hits all-time highs. Goldman Sachs raised their target $2,900 an ounce by early 2025. Silver outperformed gold up in 2024 32%. That's an 11-year high. And JP Morgan forecasts silver to hit $36 an ounce in early 2025. Call the proud Americans of the Patriot Gold Group today before it's too late. And Patriot Gold Group has the No Fee for Life IRA, where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold or silver. And you may qualify for the No Fee for Life IRA on qualifying rollovers. Give them a call, 888-546-7020 for your free investor guide today. And now on with the video. So this is where the resources are going to be floating to next. Keep your eye on this because it's coming into the fourth day, and people are really going to be needing food and water in these areas if they're still cut off. This is that rollover day, just in a general emergency sense, that it goes into day 4 and then 5, and things get way different on behavior and needs for the human body in terms of water, like the essentialness of it. If you don't have it for 3 days, you need to get water. And one of the now watches, the video I did just yesterday on Almeria, that entire greenhouse growing operation, pelted by hail, 11,000 acres of greenhouses just smashed and ripped and pounded by hail. That accompanied this same front that flooded further up in Valencia, dragged a hailstorm behind it. Some places it was like 8 inches deep on the ground. So think about other things Mediterranean, like figs and olives. And I'm looking at the dry fig exports here, staying in that same vein. Like Turkey's exports fell 24%, down to 1,945 metric tons. So I'm wondering how that reverberates through the rest of the industry. Since we are coming into autumn, and these images here from Hawaii, brought to you by Halloween Eve. Yes, snow in Hawaii on the night of and the night before Halloween, October 30th and 31st. So snow already scraping the peaks on the Big Island. Everywhere you look, it's just something, isn't it? England suffers worst harvest on record. This is from Farmer's Guide. Then you start to add up these bits of grain baskets going offline around the world or having difficulty growing. Yield declines. Some places are in conflict, like Ukraine. That was a breadbasket before. Now it's conflict. There's no or very little agricultural production exporting out of there. So everywhere you look, it's, shrinking by the day. So in blue to start, English wheat harvest down 22%. And I was talking about some of these other secondary crops traded across the world, like oats, barley, rye. These were going to be the canaries in the coal mine to look for a change that would signal there's a bigger change. The Volga region, their oat production was decreasing. But here we find in England, it's increasing, along with barley and oats increasing, while the wheat is declining. So this would be another one that, yes, the breadbasket is being shaken. The main staple crops are going to be replaced by these other oat, barley, millet class of grains. I think about switching the crops in this flip of a zone. And what's causing that? Atlantic Ocean waters? Not sure. We'll talk about that next video. But are the other massive floods around the planet also? 27 inches of rain in France in 24 hours. Again, 25 inches of rain in Spain in a day. And here's 27.6 inches in a day. And then the floods across Europe in general in the beginning of the month. South Island, New Zealand, 2.4 times the October average. That was this month earlier. Half a year's worth of rain in Roswell, New Mexico. That was just last week. There's half a year's worth of rain also Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Istria and Croatia, and that Dalmatian coast got incredible weather. I mean, just insane storms. And now we have Mecca and the entire Red Sea, that whole basin there. The mountains up in Saudi Arabia all the way into the deserts into Egypt is getting much wetter. There's this new pattern forming along there that's dropping a huge amount of moisture right there. Every time something comes, it's in that area that it's record news something this or that. But on the flip side, I dug this article out because I wanted to get some information on the Amazon is still in a mega drought. This from October 29th, 2023, almost a year ago. Severe drought reveals more than 100 carvings in Amazonian tributary rock art up to 2,000 years old. Problem is, they were in a drought of that proportion a year ago, and the drought's gotten worse since then, and it's been a whole year. So it's way drier right now than it was even when this was written. And then I'll tell you one last thing here. I was surfing a lot of European media, and they always ask you, do you want to keep your preferences on the cookies or whatnot? But look at this one that came up for me. If I paid €1, I wouldn't have 772 partner trackers on the cookies that they allow you to accept. But look at that at the bottom there. They have to be very clean in Europe about what's tracking you. Like they're very on it there. That's where the laws came from. With your agreement, we and our 772 partners use cookies to store, access, and process. What? That again? I'm looking at that. How is that possible? And how is Myanmar not self-sufficient food-wise? What is this world coming to? But it is one of those worlds where you might want to think about some storable foods. As you can see, or maybe you're noticing now, these intensities and extremes are going to continue upward and more intense and more frequent. So what would you do? This would be a great way to give a gift to start that conversation with somebody who doesn't want to have that conversation. That link's in the description box below, along with tonight's images, stories, so you can do your own research. I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Bye for now.